Hello everyone and welcome to today's Verbling class. My name is Zach and I will be teaching you today. You can call me teacher or Zach. We're going to be talking about gerunds today, gerunds and present participle. So these are words that end in ing. So running, jumping, swimming, singing. We're going to talk about the difference in these and when to use them in different contexts. So this is a grammar class, so be ready to think about grammar. We have 2 minutes while we wait for premium subscribers to join. I can see one right here who's Roman, who came yesterday. Nice to see you again, Roman. How are you doing?
Nice to see you too.
And Jarno seems to be waiting in the background as well, so that's good. So yeah, we're going to be looking at present participles and gerunds.
Oh, it's very useful.
Yeah, hopefully. We're going to go, there's a website, a very, very good website called English Club, and it's very helpful for grammar. So we're going to look at the information on this website, and then we're going to play a few games to make sure we've understood what we've learned. So.
Okay, thank you.
How is Ukraine today?
Oh, it's very fine. It's very good.
Yeah?
It's very sunny.
Sunny.
Sunny,
Good.
yes. A lot of sun and about 25-degree temperature.
Whoa!
Yeah.
But about 2 months ago, it was nothing but snow everywhere.
Yes,
in
yes.
Ukraine.
But now our weather have changed very quickly. So.
Okay. Good.
It's very cool.
Glad
yes.
to hear it. Good.
And some people even swim now.
Really?
Yeah.
Not too cold.
Ukrainian people like to drink a lot and then make some extreme games. For example, swim in cold water.
I saw a very funny video on YouTube. I don't think it was the Ukraine, but maybe someone
Russia,
else, maybe Russia. Yes, where people would go, like not very thin people would go out and wearing like just their underwear, and they came with a car into like a sheet of ice, so it was ice everywhere, and then they made a big hole in the ice.
Yeah.
And they were drinking vodka and jumping around and laughing and taking in turns to jump in the ice and swim around and come up again, and it was the most terrifying thing I'd ever seen. I thought they were the craziest people I'd ever seen. Yeah, exactly. Cool. All right, the class has begun. It's very good to see that we have almost exactly the same class that we had 5 minutes ago, which is great. It's nice to see everyone again. Right. So it seems like I'm doing something right, or there's just no other classes on Verbally right now. So yeah, I don't really need to repeat the rules, I suppose, because most of you are the same class. I just ask if Francesco and Jose can make sure, Jose Ramon, can make sure you're wearing headphones, which is good, you're in a quiet place, and if you have a notepad and pen to write notes, it's very helpful to take notes from vocabulary and things like that. So today we're going to be learning some grammar. We're going to be learning about the gerund. It's called the gerund. I'm in a new browser now, so hopefully this will work. Can everyone hear me still? Yes?
Yes, we are here.
Okay, good. Someone say yes. Okay, because normally when I stop typing, I'm still muted, but now it seems to be working. So that's the gerund. And yeah, we're going to read some grammar together. And if anyone has any questions, please ask me. And then after each section, we're going to play some games to see if we've understood what we've been learning. So we'll start off by opening a website called English Club. Actually, no, we won't. We'll do this one instead. Hold on 1 second. Bear with me. Okay. Okay. And there. Okay, so If we can all click on that site and open the site, please. And then I'm going to ask you to read through it for us and take it in turns to read for the class. So try to make sure you're reading very clearly and not too quickly so everyone can understand what you are saying. Okay? So this is the gerund and the present participle, the ing form of the verb. Okay, I'll start. The ing form of the verb may be a present participle or a gerund. The form is identical. The difference is in the function or the job the word does in the sentence. Okay, so now if I can ask, who should I ask to read? Jose Ramon, where are you from?
I'm from Spain.
Spain. Welcome to
Yes.
today's class. Would you mind reading this section for us on the present participle?
The first square?
Yes, the first section that says present participle in the green box.
Okay. The present participle. This is most common use as part of the continuous form of a verb. He is painting. She has been waiting. After verbs of movement, positions in the past. Verb must present participles. She sat looking at the sea. After verbs of perception in the past tense. Verb must object must present participle. We saw him swimming. As an adjective. Amazing, worrying, exciting, boring.
Okay, very good. So, does everyone understand this? What we just read?
Yes.
These are the
More or less.
the times. More or less good. These are the times
Yes.
when we use the present participle. Okay. So when the verb is used as an adjective,
Yes.
right? So amazing, worrying, exciting, boring. This is the present participle. This is probably the most common example of ing. And then there are other examples when you are moving, when you are doing things. Continuous form, for example, he is painting, she has been waiting. So this is the present continuous, right? If you are still doing an action. I am still teaching this class now in verbally. That's the present participle, okay? So there's a few different examples of when you use it, but it becomes quite obvious the more you practice, okay? And also the more you understand the gerund, and we're now going to talk about the gerund, which is the main topic for today, because the gerund looks the same, it looks the same as the present participle, but it is not used in the same way. You use it differently. So actually we're going to skip this section and we're going to go straight to this new link here to look at the gerund. So this is just to give you an idea. The present participle, mostly adjective. When you're using the verb as using a verb as an adjective, then you add ing, or verbs of motion, perception, or things like that. Okay. So second, here is. If you can click on this link now, the new link in the chat. And we may come back to the present participle if we have time, but I want to make sure that we fully understand the gerund first. So we're going to talk about the gerund mostly today. Okay? Now there's a bit more about the present participle. So everyone looks at this page, and then I'm going to ask David if you could begin reading for us. If you could just read the first page for us.
First page.
Yeah, of the first screen of this link, the new link. I just put a new link in the chat.
My chat box is away. Ah, here we go. When a verb ends in ing, it might be a gerund or a present participle. It is important to understand that they are not the same. When we use a verb in ing form, more like a noun, it is usually a gerund. Finishing is fun.
Fishing.
Ah, fishing is fun. when we use a verb in ing form more like a verb or an adjective, it is usually a present participle. Anthony is fishing. I have a boring teacher.
Hey, why did you say that?
Because it's standing there.
All right, fair enough. Keep reading.
Gerunds are sometimes called verbal nouns. In the lesson, we look at how we use gerunds, followed by a quiz to check your understanding. Many
grammarians. Yeah, you do not need to. This is okay. You don't need to read this section. Okay, so here we see that Anthony is fishing, or Anthony is fishing. This is a verb of an action, right? He is fishing, and it's actually this is the present. This is the present continuous. Anthony is fishing. Okay, he is doing it right now. He has not stopped. He is still doing it. So in this case, the present continuous. This is also the present participle. We're using the present participle to form the present continuous. This is one example of the present participle. The second example, I have a boring teacher. The adjective, this is when the present participle is being used as an adjective. Okay, boring. He bores me. It is boring. Okay. Do we understand that this is different from fishing is fun? Because in the case of fishing is fun, fishing is like a noun. Okay, it's the act of fishing. What we are doing, we are not fishing now. Fishing is not an adjective, like boring. It's not, but it's the noun fishing. So I could say hiking, driving, anything like this, right? And this is the gerund. Does everybody understand this distinction, this difference?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes,
don't be embarrassed if you don't, because it's not always easy to understand the first time, but there is a difference here. I think the more we do, the more we will understand this difference.
I think.
Yeah.
I think it's quite clearly explained when gerund is as a noun, verb which uses as noun. So
yes. Yes, it will become a little bit more complicated, but this is the good foundation to have when you think about the gerund. Okay, so let's go on to the next one. Everyone click on gerunds as subject, object, or complement, please. So that's the link at the bottom. Okay, and now I'm going to ask. Who have I not spoken to before? Marco, where are you from?
Hi, I'm from Italy.
Sorry. Bye, Jarno. Thank you for coming, by the way. You have to leave. See you next time.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Marco. You're from Italy. Thank you for coming to today's lesson.
Thank you too.
Can you read the next section for us?
But sorry, I don't see the new link. I have to read where?
The link is from the last page. So David just read a page, and at the bottom of the page there is another link: gerunds as subject, object, or complement.
Okay, so just a moment.
Sure.
Now I'm clicking. Okay. Try to think of gerunds.
Oh, hold on, Marco. There's a big connection problem. Is anyone else hearing Marco? Because I can't hear him.
No.
Marco, we may have to give up if there's a issue.
You got a long voice.
Yeah. He's interesting pronunciation. Marco, how about now? Is it better?
Try again.
We'll try one more time, and if it doesn't work, then we'll come back to you, okay?
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Try to think of gerunds as verb in noun form. Like nouns, gerunds can be the sub.
Okay, Marco, unfortunately the connection is too great, so we'll have to try someone else. We'll come back to you, okay?
Let me.
Oh, I'm gonna ask Inga if she can read instead. Sorry, Marco. We'll come back to you. Marco, I'm gonna mute you. I'm sorry.
Okay, 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 okay.
Okay. Inga, could you please read this page for us?
Yes.
Thank you.
Sorry, whole page or just
Yes, yes,
third?
just the whole page.
Okay. Try to think of gerunds as verbs in noun form. Like nouns, gerunds can be the subject, object, or complement of a sentence. Smoking costs a lot of money. I don't like writing. My favorite occupation is reading. But like a verb, a gerund can also have an object itself. In this case, the whole expression, gerund plus object, can be the subject, object, or complement of the sentence. Smoking cigarettes costs a lot of money. I don't like writing letters. My favorite occupation is reading detective stories. Yes, it's true. Sorry.
That's why I asked you to read this.
Like nouns, we can use gerunds with adjectives, including articles and other determiners. Pointless questioning, a settling of debts, the making of Titanic, his drinking of alcohol. But when we use a gerund with an article, it does not usually take a direct object. A settling of debts, not a settling debt. Making Titanic was expensive. The making of Titanic was expensive. Do you see the difference in these two sentences? In one, reading is a gerund, noun. In the other, reading is a present participle, verb. My favorite occupation is reading. My favorite niece is reading.
Okay, nobody click on the show answer. I'm going to ask somebody. Jose, which one is the present participle and which one is the gerund? Jose, not Jose Ramon, Jose Garcia. Oh, really? Did he really leave the class as soon as I asked him a question? I hope that was just unfortunate timing on my part, because it looked like he was dodging the question.
He might be shy.
He might be shy as well, that's true. No, he's not shy, because he was speaking he was speaking about tea for minutes earlier, so in the last lesson.
Right.
What about Francesco? Where are you from, Francesco? Francesco? Can you hear me? You have to talk now. Okay, I'll come back to you, Francesco, but you have to be able to speak in these lessons because there are other people watching who can speak with their microphone. So it's the same thing if you are just watching, if you're not speaking. So I'll come back and ask you again, but try to fix your microphone, please. Ibrahim, are you there?
Yes, hello.
Hey, nice to see you. Ibrahim is from Egypt, everybody, and he is going to tell us what the difference is, which one of these two sentences is present participle and which one is the gerund.
Okay, which sentences? I can't see them.
The ones that Inga just read. My favorite occupation is reading. My favorite niece is reading.
My favorite occupation is reading. This is reading here is a noun.
Which one of these is the gerund, Ibrahim?
What is the second sentence? I can't see it.
Okay, everyone, we have to try to make sure you're keeping up if we're reading through something, because it slows things down a little bit if you're not sure what I'm talking about. Do you know where we are, Ibrahim?
No, I just entered the class from many times.
I apologize. I thought you had been in the class for longer. Then no problem. If you click on, Inga just posted a link. If you could click on that link. We're talking about gerunds, and gerunds are like nouns. It's a verb being used like a noun. I'm going to ask someone else just so we can keep moving, but we'll come back. If you don't understand, just ask me. Larita, can you tell me?
Yes.
Which one is the gerund of these two sentences?
I think in the first, no? The first one.
Yes. So if everyone clicks on show answer, you can see my favorite occupation is reading. Because this is the noun.
Okay.
Okay. Reading is like a noun. My favorite niece is reading or has finished. This is present continuous, which is present participle, because it has not finished yet. It is still happening. Okay.
Okay.
Does everyone understand the point at the end of this page where it says, if we use a gerund with an article, it does not take a direct object. Okay? So you can say, making Titanic was expensive, but the making of Titanic was expensive. Do we understand the difference between these two uses of the gerund?
Now I can now no, I don't see the difference.
Maybe making Titanic is making its verb here, and when
Yes.
they use the making, it's noun.
Exactly. Okay, so the making is like a noun, and you have the word the, and then it does not take a direct object. It's an indirect object. So it's the making of Titanic. You have to have another preposition there. Okay, and then you're talking making Titanic as I'm not sure who just spoke, but as someone who's just said is the verb, but the making is the noun, which is the gerund, and then you have to have the word of. And it's the same with a settling of debts, or if you look above, his drinking of alcohol. So if there is an article, it doesn't have to be the. It could be a pronoun as well. It could be a possessive pronoun like his. It could be a. But if there's some word before the gerund, then it cannot take a direct object. It has to have a preposition afterwards, like of. Okay. All right. Let's go on to the next page now. Gerunds after prepositions. Can everyone click on gerunds after prepositions? Okay, very good. And I'm going to ask David. He wants to. He's volunteering. If someone really wants to read, then they can definitely read. Can you read this page for us, David?
Yeah. This is a good rule. It has no exceptions. If we want to use a verb after a preposition, it must be a gerund. It is impossible to use an infinitive after a preposition. For example, we say, I will call you after arriving at the office. Please have a drink before leaving. I am looking forward to meeting you. Do you object to working late? Tara always dreams about going on holiday. Notice that you could replace all the above gerunds with real nouns. I will call you after my arrival at the office. Please have a drink before your departure. I am looking forward to our lunch. Do you object to this job? Tara always dreams about holidays.
Excellent. Okay. So in this, do we understand this rule now? This is a very good rule. If you have a preposition in a sentence and you want to put a verb after the preposition, it must always be a gerund. Okay? So have a drink before leaving. Do you object to working late? But there is something that looks like an exception, but it is not actually an exception. So David, if you could read the tip to us below.
The tip. The above rules has no exceptions. So why is to followed by driving in 1 and by drive in 2? I am used to driving on the left. I used to drive on the left.
Okay, can anyone explain this to me? Take a guess. Why I am used to driving. So this is the rule we just discussed, because the preposition is to, and if we want a verb after the preposition, it must be in the gerund. So I am used to driving on the left. So why does it I am used to drive? I used to drive on the left. Is that not an exception? I'll tell you, the answer is because it's the infinitive, to drive. Okay, so if we're using the infinitive in the past, to drive. So even though there is a preposition in it, it's not actually a preposition. It's part of the phrase to drive. Okay, so this is why there's the exception. So if you click show answer, you can see this. To as preposition, I am used to driving. I am used to animals. To as infinitive, I used to drive on the left, or I used to smoke. Okay, so these are different examples, and you'll have to know when to use to as an infinitive. But for the most part, if there is a preposition and you put a verb after, it will be in the gerund. Okay?
What's the meaning
okay.
of use to as infinitive?
This means I had the habit of doing this. Okay? I used to do something, but I do not do it anymore. In the past, this is a very good expression, actually. I used to. This means that in the past, I did something. I had the habit of doing something. So I always used to get very angry when something happened that I did not like. But now I am different. I don't do it anymore.
Can I ask you?
Yeah, of course.
Is it mean that we have to use infinitive all time after used to?
Yes. This is a set expression. I used to, and then it's to as an infinitive. So whatever you use the base form of the verb afterwards. Okay. I used to hit. I used to drive. I used to become. I used to anything. This is a set. It's called a set expression. Okay. So if you haven't heard this before, this is very very useful to know. I used to do something, as opposed to I did something or I was doing something. This means I had the habit of doing something. It happened a lot in the past. It was not a specific time. It happened over some time. I used to. Okay, but this isn't really an exception, but if we had to think of an exception, this is the only one. Otherwise, whenever you want to put a verb after a preposition, like before, at, after, to, all of these are prepositions, then you must use the gerund. Okay? Okay, let's go to one or two more pages. Let's do to gerunds after certain verbs. Okay? Gerunds after certain verbs. I'm going to ask who's not read. Francesco, have you fixed your microphone yet? No. Okay, Francesco, I'm very sorry. You have to fix your microphone. You can just watch the lesson. It won't be any different for you, but I'm going to ask you to leave. But hopefully I'll see you again. Hold on a second. Did you say something, Francesco? No. No, not working. Sorry about that. Okay, I'm going to ask Jose Ramon. Are you there again?
Okay.
Actually, you know what? I apologize. Roman, I haven't spoken to. I'm sorry, Jose Ramon. Roman, can you read the next page for us, please?
No problem.
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Gerund after certain verbs. We sometimes use one verb after another verb. Often the second verb is in the infinitive form. For example, I want to eat. But sometimes the second verb must be in gerund form. For example, I dislike eating. This depends on the first. Here is a list of verbs that are usually followed by a verb in gerund form. Admit, appreciate, avoid, carry on, consider, defer, deny.
You don't need to. You don't need to. Actually, no. Keep going. It's a good list. Keep going. Sorry.
Detest, dislike, endure, enjoy, escape, excuse, face, feel like, finish, forgive, give up, can't help, imagine, involve, live off, mention, mind, miss, postpone, practice, put off, report, recent, risk, can stand, suggest, understand. Look at this example. She is considering having a holiday. Do you feel like doing out? I can help falling in love with you. I can stand not seeing you.
Okay, and do the tip as well.
Okay. Some verbs can be followed by the gerund form or the infinitive form without a big change in meaning. Begin, continue, hate, intend, like, love, prefer, propose, start. I like to play tennis. I like playing tennis. It started to rain. It started raining.
Very good. Okay, if you remember one thing from this lesson, this is the most important point about the gerund, okay? Is the whole point of learning all this is so we can discover when to use the gerund, when is the correct time to use it, okay? And the most common time you will hear the gerund is when it appears after another verb, okay? Now the problem is that there is no rule as to which kind of verb will take the gerund. This is the most difficult part about the gerund. There is no rule that says this verb takes the gerund, this verb doesn't. It just depends. A lot of the verbs are about perception and feeling and things like this. But this is a list. This is a good list. And if you start learning this, then it would really help you to know when to use the gerund instead of the infinitive. Okay? So if you admit doing something, you appreciate having something, all of these verbs, when you see them, will take the gerund if they appear as the second verb, if that appears as the second verb, okay? And then the other ones do not. So like, I want to eat, I have to do something. This is more like I used to, right? This will always take the infinitive. So the big key here is understanding the difference of when you would use the infinitive and when you will use the gerund. Then there is a third group of verbs that can take either one. Okay, so if you dislike something, it's always the gerund. So I dislike eating vegetables. It's not true. I cannot say I dislike to eat vegetables. This does not make sense. Always must be I dislike eating vegetables. On the other hand, you can say I like to eat vegetables, or you can say I like eating vegetables. Okay, so the first case is an example of a verb that must take the gerund. The second case, I like, is an example of a verb which can take the gerund or it can take the infinitive. And then the third example, a verb like I want, must take the infinitive. You cannot say I want eating vegetables. You must say I want to eat vegetables. Okay? That always has to take the infinitive. So it's not the nicest part of learning English grammar, because it's not always very, it's very nice if you have everything in boxes and you say if this, then this, and blah, blah, blah. But I think that this list is not very long. If you can learn this list, for example, on this page, then that is most of the most common verbs that will take the gerund, actually. So there's probably about 30 or 40 verbs. If you make a list of these, or you come back to this page, then this will be very helpful to you in learning when to use the gerund, because there are not hundreds of verbs, but these are the main ones. So if you learn these, then you will always be able to remember, okay, you know, this verb, give up, it always takes the gerund. So I do not give up to do something, I give up doing something. Okay, and then you'll always remember it from that point forward. So it takes a little bit of work and it takes some practice, but this is probably the most important part of learning the gerund, is when to use it exactly. Because many people I hear who are learning English, they will start talking and then they will say the wrong thing. I want going to this, or I want going, and they're not sure of the difference of when to use an infinitive and when to use a gerund. So if you bookmark any page, bookmark this page, come back to it, and try to understand which verbs are which. Okay. All right. Let's keep moving forward, and then we'll do some exercises in a minute. Gerunds. Does everyone understand that? By the way, is there anything that's not clear in what I was just talking about?
I think it's clear.
Yeah. Okay. It'll become clearer when we do some practice. Okay. So we have one more page before we do practice. Let's go to gerunds in the passive sense, the next page. The last one. And Manal, I'm afraid I think the class is full if you're watching. Larita, can you read this last page for us, please? Larita? Can you hear me?
Sorry.
You're being shy.
Yeah. Gerunds,
Okay. Yeah.
okay. Gerunds in passive sense. We often use a gerund after the verbs need. Require a want and want. In this case, the gerund has a passive sense. I have 3 shirts that need washing, need to be washed. This letter requires signing, needs to be signed. The house
Signed.
signed.
Yeah.
Signed. The house wants repainting, needs to be repainted. Yeah.
And the tip.
Okay. English club tip. The expression "something wants doing" is not normally used in American English.
Okay, so you can forget this last one, but there is a sense in which we use the gerund in the passive. Don't forget about something wants something, because this will confuse you with what we just learned. If I want to eat, that's not the passive anyway, but if we use it in the passive, then it means something needs to be done. But this is much more like an English expression, and it's not used very often. But the letter requires signing, the shirts need washing. Okay, so again, it's using the verb more like a noun. Okay, the shirts need washing. They need the act of washing. They need to be washed. It's more like a concrete noun than an actual verb. Okay, so this is the last sense in which we will use the gerund, in the passive sense. Okay, so now we'll do a little exercise quickly. Okay, so let's try this quiz quickly. We might not do all of them, but we'll do some of them. Let's ask Hanny, are you with us? I'm going to assume that's a no. Let me ask Inga, can you do number 1 on this quiz?
Sorry, where we are?
On the quiz, if you click on the next link to the next page.
Now check your understanding, yes?
Yes. Also, where are we, not where we are.
Thanks.
No
Thanks
problem.
for correcting. I dislike. We just ripped about it. I dislike going to the movies by myself.
Very good. And we click for the answer, and the answer is going. Okay. Good going, Inga. But before you did that, you just said when I corrected you, you said, I think you said thanks for correct. Is that right?
For correction.
Thanks for correcting me, or thanks for correcting. That's the gerund. Okay?
Oh my God. Okay, I will write down.
Yeah, so not thanks for correct. Correct is the infinitive, or to correct is the infinitive. But you want to say thanks for correcting me, because it's the act of correcting. It's the verb to correct being used like a noun. So thanks for correcting me. Okay?
Thanks.
So thank you for giving us a real example of the gerund. Okay, so let's ask Jose, can you try and do number 2?
Okay, teacher. We started eating dinner without you.
That's correct. That's correct. What if I said we started to eat dinner without you? Would that be correct or not correct?
I think it's correct too.
Yes, it is. So this is a verb when you can use both. You can say eating, which is the gerund, or to eat. So the verb start and the verb like, you can use either the gerund or the infinitive. So we started to eat without you, and we started eating without you. Both correct. Okay? Nice job, Jose. Ibrahim, can you do number 3?
Okay. I can't imagine buying my house.
Very good. This is the gerund. I can't imagine buying my own house. It is not correct to say I can't buy my own house. Not correct. That's because the verb to imagine was on the list we saw before of verbs that always take the gerund. So any verb that appears after imagine will always be in the gerund. Okay, number 4. Raphael, have you been able to keep up or find out where we are?
No, I couldn't find out
okay,
where we are.
I'll give you a quick link right now. We're doing it's going to be we've been going over quite a bit of grammar in the
Yeah,
class.
yeah,
But,
I understand the topic, but I can find the.
so click on the link. I just put, no problem.
Yeah, right now.
Yeah. And I'll come back to you in a second for the next one.
Okay,
let me ask Roman. What do you think about number 4?
Just a minute. Number 4. I used to watch that television show all of the time. I think we should use to watch because with stable expression I used to.
Yes, it's a set expression. I used to do something, and so this one takes the infinitive, not I used to watching. Very good. Okay, Inga, can you do number 5?
I always eat breakfast before. Yes, before is preposition, right?
Yes. And what's the rule about tell us what's the rule about prepositions?
Okay. And hence we have to use gerund here. So going.
Okay, because there is a preposition there.
Yes.
Before. Very good. Not before to go to school. Very good. That's true. Okay. Number 6, David. When do you practice?
When do you practice playing the piano?
Yes. Very good. And that is because practice is a verb, and after this verb we always use the gerund. Okay? It's because of the verb practice. So practice was on the list we saw before. Number 7, Raphael, do you want to try?
Yeah. My grandmother prefers reading science fiction books. I think it's gerund because prefers needs a gerund.
No, not correct. No, you're not. You have half of the answer, but actually prefers is a verb similar to like.
Yeah.
And this means it can take the gerund or the infinitive. So I like reading, or I like to read. I prefer reading, or I prefer to read. So you were correct. It can take the gerund, but it can also take the infinitive.
Well,
so if you click on the drop down, you see it has read into read or read into. So both of these are correct here.
Perfect.
So there are not many verbs like this. I think prefer, like, start, and maybe a few other ones that you will pick up. But it's very good to understand, because if you do not appreciate this, you will be confused, because one person will say to you, I like to go outside, and then someone else will say, I like going outside, and you will not be sure which one to use. In these cases, you can use either one. It's no problem. Okay, good. Number 8, you need something harder this year. Who have I not asked yet? Let me ask Jose again.
I need to study.
Yes, you need to study harder this year. Can you explain why?
I don't know. I read it on the book.
It sounds good. Because need is like want, and want is a verb that must always take the infinitive. Okay? If I need something, I want something, it has to take the infinitive. Okay? So I need to study, not I need studying. Okay? Number 9, I am used to something. Let's ask Ibrahim. Can you do number 9? Ibrahim, you still with us? Maybe, maybe not. Okay, I think Ibrahim's disappeared. Inga, can you do number 9 for us?
I'm used to seeing her in a bad mood, because here we have to as a preposition.
No, the right answer, but the wrong explanation.
It's like in the example. I'm used to. In the link.
Oh, you know what? Sorry. You're very right. I'm an idiot. I used to watch. No, you're not right. I'm right. Yeah, I'm very embarrassed. I'm sorry. I got confused between I used and I am used. The teacher made a mistake. I'm sorry. I am used to, it's exactly right. I'm a preposition. I'm used to seeing her in a bad mood. If it was I used to, then what would it be?
Yeah.
What would it be if it was I used to? Inga?
Sorry.
It's okay. I used to something her in a bad mood. What would the?
Yes, I used to. We have infinitive. We need infinitive form of verb.
Exactly.
But here we have I'm used to.
Okay,
so here is preposition. So we need gerund.
Yes, that's absolutely correct. So I'm saying if it was I used to, then we would use the infinitive. Correct. Sorry about that. It was my mistake. Okay, number 10. Have you talked to the dentist about something? Okay, David, I was maybe going to ask you, but we'll assume that I was.
Sorry,
that's
I
okay.
thought my microphone is muted.
That's no problem. Yes. Have you talked to the dentist about cleaning your teeth, and why is that? Why is that the case, David?
About. I think it's because it's the about before.
Yes, and about is a preposition. So this is just like the example that Inga just read. I'm used to. Have you talked to the dentist about? And then you put the gerund afterwards. Okay? Okay. That is the gerund. We're going to do a little bit more practice. Does everyone feel like they understand the gerund?
Yeah.
Sort of. More than they did 50 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Everyone's been very quiet. I don't know if they're understanding on that.
It's very useful.
Yeah, it's useful, but you use these pages that we have been reading, especially the one with the list of verbs, and this will help you the most. Okay? Like I said, it's for people learning English, often I hear them use the infinitive instead of the gerund, or the gerund instead of the infinitive, and it's a very easy way to sound to improve your English and to sound good at English if you can get this right, if you can correct this. So we're going to do a couple more quick exercises about this. I want everyone to write 2 sentences. I'm going to give you an adjective, and I want everyone to write down 2 sentences incorporating the gerund. 2 sentences with the gerund and the adjectives that I give you. Okay? To see that this is my way to check that everyone has understood. Okay, so I'm going to give you... Actually, no. Everyone writes 1 sentence per adjective, and I will give you maybe 3 adjectives. Okay, so sad. Sad is the first adjective. So everyone write down a sentence, any sentence that has the adjective sad and uses the gerund.
May I?
No, you have to write it down, and then I'm going to... Yeah, it's okay, and then I'm going to...
Okay, sorry, teacher.
No problem, no problem. Okay, and the next one is embarrassed. Embarrassed. And the last one is angry. Angry. Okay. Right. We've all had a chance to write down some sentences. Raphael, tell me your sentence with the adjective sad that has the gerund.
The gerund. Every time I go to see that play at the theater, I'm feeling sad.
Yes. Good. Every time I go to see this play at the theater, actually, no.
No? Well,
Because, let me try to think why. It's very hard to explain. It should be I feel sad in this example. Every time I go, I feel sad. You don't, because it's the verb to feel, right? Every time I feel sad, I'm feeling sad. Because feeling sad.
it sounds better as you say.
Yeah, I'm not able. I'm really struggling. I should be able to explain why, but it's I feel sad. If you say see, you could say seeing this play makes me sad. For example, seeing this play makes me sad, or makes me feel sad. But if you say every time I see this play, I am feeling sad. No, because I think it then should be the present present. No, it's not the present continuous. I can't explain it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, but I think it's a right answer because it's present continuous. I'm feeling, no?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Thank you.
Exactly. It's a present continuous, right? Not the gerund. So seeing this play or watching this play makes me feel sad. That's the gerund in that case. Okay, because it's like a noun.
Thank you.
Okay, let me try embarrassed. Inga, do you have one with embarrassed?
No, I have one with sad, but I'm not sure if it's true.
Okay, tell us the one with sad.
Being sad is not good. Is it true?
Being sad is not good. That's the present continuous. No, it's not. Being sad. No, it's not. No. Being sad. Being sad is the gerund. Sorry. Yes, very good. That's a really good sentence. Being sad is not good. Let's go on to embarrassed now. Roman, what's your sentence with embarrassed?
I just think about it. Maybe his drinking is embarrassed.
His what?
His drinking is embarrassed.
No. So a person is embarrassed. You are embarrassed, or someone else is embarrassed. But
yes, I see.
But an activity cannot be embarrassed. So you're quite close. How would you change this sentence to make it into a correct sentence? His drinking, which is very good gerund.
My drinking.
Okay, my drinking
is embarrassed.
No, you are embarrassed. You are embarrassed, not the drinking. So your drinking is not embarrassed. You are embarrassed. So try to join the phrase "my drinking" and "embarrassed" that involves the subject, which is you. Can anyone help Roman? The connection
is embarrassed me. My drinking is embarrassed me.
Yeah, or my drinking
make me
embarrassed. There we go. Very good.
Thank you,
Inga. My drinking makes me embarrassed. Do you understand, Roman?
Yes, I understand.
Yeah, my drinking makes me embarrassed. And then you are the one who is being embarrassed, not the drinking. Okay, good. And then we have one more, which is angry. Ibrahim, can you tell us about what makes you, well, try to use a phrase incorporating the gerund and the word angry. Ibrahim? Okay, I think we lost Ibrahim somewhere along the way. David, how about you?
Peter is a scatterbrain. It makes me angry.
Where is the gerund there?
Yeah, right.
You could change this into a gerund quite easily.
I am angry with Peter because he's a scatterbrain.
No, there's still no gerund in there. You're looking to include a verb ending in ing, something ing, and angry. Yes. So you could say, like Inga gave us being earlier. So you could say, I am angry about Peter being scatterbrained.
Okay.
Yeah?
Can I say
Or missing classes, or missing the classes.
Makes me angry.
But
Missing.
do we need article there? Missing the classes or missing classes?
Missing classes. You forget the article. Missing classes.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's do one
watching
more.
tennis make me angry.
Watching tennis. Very good. Thank you, Ibrahim. Watching tennis makes me angry. Watching tennis. That's a good example. Larita, what makes you angry?
The rain makes me angry. No, running. No. Sorry.
It's okay.
No.
It was like a trick question.
Do running makes me angry.
Okay, going running makes me angry. That's what you should say. Going running.
Going running.
Yes. So go always takes the gerund, I think. I want to go, shopping. I want to go shopping, for example. It's a gerund. Good. Okay, and let's try one more. Let's do one more embarrassed to see what makes people embarrassed. Are you here, Amir? Amir Mohammed? Nope, we can't hear him. Ingo, tell us what makes you embarrassed. That's okay. You know what?
When I don't know what to answer. Not knowing.
There you go. What to answer
the question
makes
me embarrassed.
Okay, very, very good. We're going to do one more quick exercise. The connection is very bad now. I'm not sure why. I apologize if it's me, but it's very we're going to do one more exercise just to make sure we've understood, and it's going to involve like and dislike, because this is a very simple example of when to use the gerund.
Yes, it's his connection.
Is he gone?
I think
Yes.
Such a pity. Thousand pity.